Unlock divine guidance. A powerful morning prayer for grace wisdom right now. The sun barely peeked over the horizon when Emma woke, an unease settling in her gut like a heavy stone. Today was the day that everyone in town whispered about, but dared not speak of. The town square, wafting with the scent of fresh coffee and pastries, was still, its usual buzz replaced by a thick, suffocating silence. Last night, an old woman in a tattered shawl had come to her in a dream, eyes swirling like stormy seas, urging Emma to seek out the hidden shrine deep in Cedar Woods. Unlock the guidance, or face the shadows that roar beneath you, the woman had rasped, leaving an icy fear dancing across Emma's skin. Walking through the shadowed streets, every step felt like stepping into a film where events were slowly building to an explosive climax. She could feel the weight of curiosity pressing on her like a physical force. Why was the shrine so important? Whispers had claimed it held a power able to grant wishes, and the townsfolk had grown more tense every week. Little signs, odd vibrations in the air, and flickering lights in windows told a tale of something dark prowling just out of sight. Emma's heart raced with every glance over her shoulder, hoping against hope that the shadows wouldn't catch her. The air turned electric as she neared the edge of Cedar Woods. The sight of the ancient trees made her skin prickle. Their gnarled branches reached out, twisted and warping like fingers beckoning her closer. She remembered the stories children had vanished in these woods, never found, their laughter echoing long after they were gone. But today, she felt pulled in, an irresistible force urging her forward. It felt like she was standing at the edge of an abyss, the unknown looming below. But as she took a step into the woods, a strange rustling erupted behind her. Emma whirled around, adrenaline spiking through her veins. A figure stood just beyond the tree line, fading in and out of existence like a mirage. It was hard to tell if it was a trick of the light or something far more sinister. Was it a warning? Or an invitation? She hesitated, her breath caught in her throat. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. With her heart pounding, Emma stepped deeper into the woods, the shadows closing in around her. A sudden silence enveloped the area, pressing against her ears until she could hear her own pulse. The figure was gone. Had it been a figment of her imagination, or something more chilling? A shudder ran through her. Every instinct screamed for her to turn back, yet her curiosity clawed at her. What secrets lay ahead? What would she find in the depths of the woods? The air tasted of danger, thick with the promise of an adventure that might just unravel everything she thought she knew. And then a whisper floated through the trees, her name carried on the wind. What awaited her at the shrine? Was she meant to find divine guidance, or something that would ensnare her soul forever? The trees loomed around Emma, their trunks impossibly thick, casting deep shadows that felt alive. Every rustle of leaves echoed like a warning bell, vibrating through her bones. She pushed herself forward, despite the rising tide of dread threatening to pull her back into the comfort of the sunlit world she had just left behind. Was it bravery or foolishness driving her? She couldn't tell. With every hesitant step, the underbrush snapped underfoot, and the earthy scent of damp soil mixed with something bitter and metallic hung in the air. Emma blinked against the dim light filtering through the thick canopy. She could feel the air grow heavier and thicker, each breath a struggle against the unseen forces gathering all around her. Then, just as she thought the woods might swallow her whole, she spotted it. The shrine, partly obscured by lush growth, looked out of place amidst the wildness. It was a small stone structure, aged by time, covered in vines that curled like fingers around its base. A chill went through her, as if the shrine pulsed with its own energy, drawing her in like a moth to a flame. She approached cautiously, the whispers of the wind changing tone, becoming almost pleaded as she reached the stone. Her fingers brushed against the surface, feeling the grooves and indentations carved into the rock. It felt warm, alive. Her pulse quickened, and she was suddenly drawn back to the woman in her dreams. Unlock the guidance. The words echoed in her mind, reverberating with the fervor of a dark spell. Just then, the shadows shifted, revealing that she was not alone. At the edge of her vision, the figure returned, the same elusive phantom from before, lurking just beyond the veil of trees. Its features were hard to make out, but one thing was clear: it was watching her. Emma's heart pounded so hard she feared it might burst. This was no figment of her imagination. This was real. "Emma," the figure whispered, the sound a gravelly, chilling invitation. She felt it resonate in her very core, an urge to step forward, but fear anchored her. When she didn't respond, the figure seemed to grow more defined, its outline sharpening as it took a cautious step closer. The world around her faded. The only reality was the figure and the shrine. "What do you want?" Emma's voice trembled, equal parts defiance and hesitation. "Unlock it, and you will know," the figure replied, gravelly with an echo that felt ancient. Emma swallowed the lump in her throat, battling 1,000 questions that rushed like frantic whispers through her mind. What did it mean? What would she know? She was so close, just one more step. But just as she ventured to take it, a loud crack pierced the silence. A branch snapped somewhere in the woods, rattling through her like electricity. The figure jerked its head toward the sound, its eyes wide and filled with a terror that mirrored her own. "They are coming," it warned, fear gripping its voice. Against every shiver in her spine, Emma's instinct kicked in. Need for safety battled against her intense curiosity about the shrine. There was no more time. In one swift, desperate movement, she turned away from the figure and ran, arms pumping, breath coming in gasps. Was something truly pursuing her? Or was it the echoes of her own fears? As she dashed through the trees, darkness thick and heavy, she wondered what she had left behind, and whether she would ever uncover the truth about the shrine, or if she was now running from shadows that would only grow stronger. The answer loomed ahead, just out of reach. She burst through the tree line into the fading light, heart pounding, only to find herself standing before the town square, its streets eerily still. What had happened? What was happening in the heart of Cedar Woods? And then, she felt it again, the whisper of her name on the wind. Who was calling her now? It was only just beginning. Emma stood frozen in the town square, her heart still racing, overwhelmed by the sudden stillness encircling her. The vibrant, bustling life of Cedar Woods felt distant, almost ghostly. Where had everyone gone? She turned in circles, scanning the empty streets. The storefronts darkened. It was as if the life had been sucked out of this place, leaving behind an echo of what once thrived here. Her throat felt tight, and the name whispering in the wind brought an icy tickle down her spine. It was soft yet insistent, weaving through the cool evening air. "Emma," the voice echoed, and her name held a strange, hypnotic rhythm. Something was calling her, but she fought the urge to answer. The shadows danced in the corners of her vision, but she shook her head, willing herself to focus. She needed to regain control. Just a moment ago, she had felt that figure, a ghostly silhouette at the shrine, its urgency washing over her. Had it been a warning or a plea? She needed answers, yet every instinct told her to flee. Hesitantly, Emma began walking toward the center of the square, her footsteps echoing on the cobblestones. Suddenly, a clattering noise jolted her from her thoughts. She whirled around and spotted a shadow darting between two buildings like a predator evading capture. Panic gripped her. Was it following her? Or something worse? She couldn't tell. "Who's there?" she called out, her voice wavering. Silence answered her, thick and heavy. She took a step backward, feeling the prickle of unease tightening around her. Then, without warning, the wind picked up, sending swirling leaves spiraling up into the air. It felt unnatural, like the woods had unleashed a fury that swirled around her. Emma staggered, instinctively raising her arms to shield her face. And in that wild gust, a familiar figure emerged from the darkness, a woman, shrouded yet striking. "Emma, hurry!" the woman shouted, urgency bubbling in her voice. Emma felt a rush of inexplicable familiarity at the sight, her pulse quickening once more. "Who are you?" Emma managed to shout over the howling wind, terror grappling with her curiosity. "You must come with me." It's not safe here. The woman beckoned, her eyes wide with fear, cutting through Emma's bewilderment. The shadows deepened as menacing figures began materializing at the edges of the square, their outlines dark and unsettling that Emma's instincts collided. Should she trust this stranger? Yet the atmosphere screamed for action. The woman took a few steps closer, her arm extended. Please, you're in danger. Just then, a massive shape emerged from the alley, towering and distorted. The figures were not human, each one a grotesque reflection of something darker lurking within the woods. Fear coursed through Emma's veins. I can't stay here. I need you to come. The woman implored again, her voice trembling, pulling Emma closer with a magnetic urgency. With no time left, Emma made her decision. She took a step forward, grasping the woman's outstretched hand, just as a chorus of low, guttural growls rose up around them. The woman's grip was firm, but Emma's heart raced, uncertainty gnawing at her. Where were they going, and would it offer salvation or lead her deeper into the nightmare? As they sprinted down the alley, the shadows loomed closer, darting after them. The darkness pressed in, a suffocating, living entity breathing down her neck. Hold on to me. Trust me. The woman shouted, her urgency wrapping around Emma like a tether. The figures behind them surged forward, hungry and relentless. Would they escape? Emma's heart thundered in her chest as she fled into the unknown, desperate for answers, along with the shadows that haunted her. And in that moment, the truth felt just out of reach, unraveling before her in a tapestry of darkness and light. Would she be strong enough to uncover the reality behind the maze of shadows? Little did she know, each pulse of her heart was drawing her closer to an unsettling revelation about her own fate. The alley twisted ahead, dark and narrow, the air heavy with a musty odor of dampness and decay. Emma ran, each footfall pounding against the cobblestones like the frantic beat of her heart. The woman's grip tightened, leading her deeper into the shadows where the light of the town square faded into an oppressive blackness. Why are they chasing us? Emma gasped, forcing the words out, desperate for an explanation to quell the terror bubbling inside her. Because you're the one they want, the woman replied, her breath hitching. You hold the key. What key? Emma cried, her mind racing. It felt absurd, and yet the truth lurking in those words sent chills rattling through her. Suddenly, the woman stumbled, almost pulling Emma down with her. No, we have to keep moving. She shot a panicked glance over her shoulder. In that fleeting moment, Emma glimpsed the shadowy figures slipping through the darkness, their elongated limbs bending unnaturally, twisting like sinister vines. They crept closer, sinister whispers rolling in soft, malevolent sounds. Emma's throat tightened again. We can't just keep running blind. She protested, urgency swelling in her voice, the fear of the unknown clashing with the need to know more. Tell me what's going on. I swear I'll explain everything, but it's not safe here. We have to get to the old church. It's our only hope. The old church. Emma's mind whirled as the memories flooded back. The decaying structure, where she often played as a child, a place filled with echoes of laughter, a stark contrast to the foreboding presence it now held. Just a little further. The woman encouraged, yanking Emma along as they darted into another passageway, its darkness swallowing them whole. The air turned icy, and as they turned the next corner, a terrible growl echoed off the brick walls. The woman whispered, "Keep moving. Don't look back." Her heart threatened to explode as they pushed onward. The woman was unwavering, though Emma could feel the tremor in her voice. They navigated through a series of narrow paths, each step echoing like thunder in her ears, drowning out the cries of something alive lurking just behind them. Then, they stumbled into a clearing, the night sky above, a pinprick of stars glowing just out of reach. The old church loomed before them, its once grand structure now a crumbling facade, draped in darkness with ivy creeping like fingers across its stone. Wait. Emma's voice rang in the stillness. She pulled her hand free, determination igniting within her. You can't distract me anymore. I deserve to know the truth. The woman inhaled sharply, desperation flaring in her eyes. All right, but you must promise to listen. Your life is intertwined with the fate of Cedar Woods. They want what you have, what was taken from you. What do you mean? Emma took a half step backward, startled. The forest has marked you as its own. and soon, it will come for you, too. Before Emma could process her words, a tremor rippled through the ground. The figures from the shadows began to emerge, silhouettes forming gruesome shapes, closing in on them. The woman reached for Emma, urgency flooding her features. We have to enter the church. There's still time, but you must trust me. Emma's vision narrowed as a wave of potential futures washed over her, one where she succumbed to the dark, and another where she surrendered to the unknown. Trust. It's all I have, Emma whispered, determination pooling at the pit of her stomach. Together, they dashed across the threshold into the church, the heavy doors creaking ominously behind them. Would this be their sanctuary, or a place of deeper darkness? What truths lay in waiting among the shadows of stained glass and hollow whispers? Emma's breath hitched as an icy realization surged. Whatever was about to happen, she wouldn't face it alone. But as the doors slammed shut, sealing them inside, one question echoed. Could they survive what awaited within? Inside the church, a thick silence engulfed them. The heavy scent of mildew clung to the air, and shadows danced along the cracked walls. Dust motes floated lazily in the faint light filtering through stained glass, casting eerie patterns that flickered like ghosts. Emma's heart raced, the adrenaline still coursing through her veins, a relentless reminder of the terror outside. Where do we go? She asked, keeping her voice low, as if the darkness itself could hear her. The woman gestured toward the altar, where the wooden structure loomed like a forgotten relic of faith. We have to find the crypt. There is something there that can help you. Emma couldn't shake the unease wrapping around her. What is it? What will it do? The truth is not far, the woman said, determination etched on her face. Her name still eluded Emma, leaving a void of trust laced with doubt. Once we uncover what you are linked to, everything will change. As they approached the altar, the woman's foot caught on an uneven stone, and she stumbled forward, catching herself just in time. Stay close. We mustn't waste time. Emma followed, eyes darting about. Every creak of the floorboards made her jump. Every whisper in the air felt like a reminder of the dangers lurking outside. Another tremor jolted through the church, rattling the stained glass as if warning them. The woman reached a trapdoor tucked behind the altar, its surface worn and dust-covered like a forgotten memory. Here, help me. Together, they pried it open to reveal a steep staircase descending into darkness. The scent of damp earth wafted up, thick with ancient secrets. What is down there? Emma's throat felt tight again, suffocated by uncertainty. Things that are better left undisturbed unless you are ready to confront them. The woman's voice trembled slightly, her bravado cracking. Emma's insides twisted. Ready? She didn't even know what they were fighting against. But the thought of the dark things chasing them, of being trapped in a never-ending shadow, was worse than whatever lay beneath. Taking a deep breath, she nodded. Let us go. They descended the rickety steps, the darkness swallowing them whole. The oppressive silence grew heavier. Every step echoed with a finality, resonating deep within Emma's chest. Suddenly, a flicker of light appeared at the bottom of the stairwell, breaking through the blackness like a beacon. As they reached the bottom, they entered a dimly lit chamber. It was smaller than she expected and lined with cobwebs, walls carved with strange symbols that twisted and coiled like the figures from the alley. In the center stood a pedestal, and atop it lay a small, ornate box, ancient but untouched by time. That's it, the woman whispered, her eyes alight with hope. That's the key to understanding. Emma stepped forward, mesmerized. What's inside? You're past your connection to the forest. Open it, and we may find a way to break the hold they have over you. Just then, a loud crash above sent vibrations through the ground, startling them both. The doors of the church were being battered from the outside, the thuds echoing like a war drum. We don't have time. The woman's urgency heightened. We have to open it now. Emma hesitated, her heart pounding in sync with the frantic thuds. Could she really do this? Could she face whatever nightmare awaited her inside? Before she could decide, the lid of the box clicked open on its own, a breath of stale air escaping like a sigh. A soft glow emanated from within, illuminating the dark chamber. Emma inched closer, drawn in by its light as if it held the answers to all her questions. But as her fingers brushed the edge, the growling from above intensified. A chilling realization hit her. What if the answers didn't bring freedom, but deeper chains? With desperate breaths and trembling hands, she prepared to listen, not knowing if this was the beginning of understanding or the spark of her undoing. The moment loomed like thunderclouds ready to burst, and as she peered into the glow, the world above echoed with another crash. What secrets waited in the light, and how many more shadows would it unleash? Emma's heart raced at the thought. Was this the answer she sought, or the spark that would ignite the fire? The light from the box was almost hypnotic, swirling with colors that danced like flames. Emma leaned in closer, her breath catching in her throat as whispers slid through the air, faint yet insistent. They beckoned her, wrapping around her like a soft, eerie fog. The woman's grip on her elbow tightened, pulling her back from the edge of that mesmerizing glow. "Wait," she urged, her eyes wide with fear. "We must prepare ourselves. The truth can be brutal." Emma's heart thundered as the echoes of chaos above raged on. Each crash against the church doors felt like a countdown, a ticking clock leading to something inevitable. She glanced at the ornate box, battling a fierce mix of curiosity and dread. What lay beyond the fragile barrier? Ready or not? "We can't stop now," the woman pressed, her voice steady but laced with urgency. "Whatever is after us wants you. The moment you open it, they will sense you." Emma felt her resolve harden. "I have to know what's inside. I won't run anymore." With trembling hands, she reached for the box again, her finger just grazing its edge when suddenly the chamber darkened. The warm light flickered, shadows creeping like hungry beasts. "What is happening?" she gasped, a chill running down her spine. The air grew heavier, thick with a sense of foreboding. "Shadows are listening," the woman whispered, her eyes darting around as if sensing invisible threats. "We need to focus. Focus on why you are here." Taking a deep breath, Emma felt the weight of generations pressing upon her, the darkness coiling like a serpent. "I want to break free from this nightmare," she declared, her voice stronger than she felt. The box responded, pulsing with an energy that rumbled beneath her fingertips. The whispers intensified, merging into one coherent voice that cut through the chaos above. "Emma, embrace your truth," before she could pull away. The lid flung open wider, unleashing a sudden burst of light that blasted through the chamber, illuminating the symbols etched into the walls. The shapes writhed as if alive, responding to the energy pulsating from the box, intertwining with the chaotic rhythm echoing from above. "Look," the woman urged, her excitement mixed with fear. "Witness what's yours." In the brilliance, Emma could see images unfolding, flashes of her childhood by the forest's edge, her laughter mingling with the wind, her friendship with shadows that stretched beneath the trees. Instinctively, she knew these memories held layers of truth buried deep within her, but the growls from above morphed into howls of rage, an ancient fury released. The overhead doors splintered, and daylight spilled into the chamber, slicing through the shadows like thunderclaps. "Emma, you have to finish this," the woman shouted, panic rising in her tone. "What if I can't?" Emma cried, feeling the world spinning. "What if it destroys me? Remember, the only way to break the hold is to face it. You must choose to embrace your light." In that moment, Emma took a step forward, her resolve burning like a wildfire. Filling her lungs with air, she reached deep into the glow, grasping for what lay hidden. The moment her hand connected with the inner light, an electric shock coursed through her body, igniting every nerve. The visions morphed violently as a fresh wave of shadows lurched forward, crashing against the boundary of the chamber. She could sense them closing in, and in a heartbeat, she understood they weren't merely coming for her. They were feeding on her fear. "Let it in," the woman encouraged. "The truth is powerful. It can bind us, but also free us." With a fierce determination, Emma embraced the light, the secrets swirling within, unfurling slowly yet resoundingly. There, in that pulsing energy, ancient knowledge wrapped around her like a protective cloak. The howls grew closer, reverberating against the walls, but she was no longer just a victim. She was the key, the pulse of the forest returning to life, resonating with the strength of every heartbeat. As she held the light, a cacophony erupted, a violent clash of darkness and dawn battling in fierce abandon. In that blinding moment, Emma felt the very spectrum of her ties, and as the shadows lunged forward, she raised her other hand, releasing a resounding cry that shook the very foundation of the chamber. What would emerge from the void? And had she truly unlocked the power to rewrite her fate, or had she just fueled the oncoming storm? The moment teetered on the brink of resolution. Emma, now caught in a whirlwind of energy, could hardly fathom that she was just about to step into a truth darker than she ever imagined. The chamber pulsed with energy, the air crackling with tension. Emma felt the lightning coursing through her, merging with the very essence of who she was. But the shadows, relentless and angry, had no intention of retreating. They surged forward, an army cloaked in darkness, seeking to claim her. "Stand firm," the woman shouted, her voice almost drowned in the surrounding chaos. "Don't let them eclipse your light." Emma's heart raced against the growing howl, the darkness clawing at her, trying to pierce the vibrant aura enveloping her. With every second, she recalled the laughter and warmth of her childhood. She remembered days spent in the sun-soaked forest, running wild and free, unmarred by fear. Those memories ignited a fire within her, expanding into a barrier that pulsed in time with her heart. The shadows writhed, shrieking in fury at her defiance. She felt their breath, cold and damp, wrapping around her limbs like a serpent suffocating its prey. Emma took a deep breath, stacking her memories like stones in a fortress, both bolstering her strength and illuminating her path. "Embrace who you are." The woman's voice broke through the chaos, clear and urgent. "You have the power to mold the shadows. You can make them kneel." Emma held on to that command, visualizing her light as a hammer smashing through the darkness. She embraced it, feeling the warmth flow through her spirit and expand outward. Tendrils of shimmering energy erupted from her fingertips, crashing into the shadows like waves against jagged rocks. The very room shook with the force of her declaration. "I am no longer afraid," she cried, unleashing a beam of light that sliced through the darkness, scattering the shadows like ashes in the wind. But as the shadows writhed away, they summoned one last act of desperation. A massive form erupted from the void, coalescing into a creature of grotesque proportions, its eyes burning with malice, its voice a dark whisper. "You think you can defeat me? I am all that you fear." With each word, Emma felt it reverberate through her very soul. She stumbled backward, doubt creeping in. Could she truly face the embodiment of her worst nightmares? "Don't listen," the woman snapped, shattering the moment. "They only hold power if you give in." Emma's breathing quickened. She focused on the light pulsing through her, feeling it sink into her bones, every nerve alive with energy. "You don't own me," she screamed against the creature, her fear melting into rage. "I define my reality." As if responding to her words, the creature recoiled, its form flickering under the intensity of her light. Hissing and twisting, it lunged forward. Emma braced herself, feeling the force push against her, threatening to engulf her once more. "Keep pushing," the woman urged, her voice a blend of fear and strength. "You are the light." Emma channeled every ounce of her love, every shred of joy she had ever felt. The laughter of her friends, the warmth of family gatherings, the feeling of rain on her skin, all her beautiful moments spiraled together. Glowing brighter than the sun, she thrust her hands before her. In a blinding flash, a shockwave erupted, colliding with the creature. It shrieked in agony, and for a moment, the world stood still, cracked light bursting through darkness. Gasping, Emma opened her eyes, and her heart sank. The shadows hadn't vanished. They simply retreated, morphing into smaller fragments swirling harshly around the room. The creature was no longer towering, but the anger it harnessed remained palpable, eager to strike again. Emma felt the tension coil inside her. This was only a battle, the war wasn't over. The woman glanced at her, urgency flickering in her eyes. "What you've unleashed is just the beginning. They will return stronger. You need to find the source of your light, and soon." "What do you mean?" Emma questioned, confusion mingling with dread. "Before you can face the shadows again, you must discover where you truly draw your power, or all of this is in vain." Heart pounding, Emma wasn't sure she was ready. But one thing was undeniable: the certainty of a greater danger loomed just beyond her grasp, waiting for her to make the next move. Could she uncover the truth before the storm came crashing back down? The answer hung in the air, as thick and electric as the chaos around her. Emma's heart raced as the tendrils of darkness swirled around her, their whispers promises of despair lingering in the air like a cold mist. The improvement from their last encounter felt fleeting. She spotted shards of light hovering just outside their reach, growing dimmer against the onslaught. The woman beside her seemed to sense the shift, her expression twisted with concern. "We don't have time," the woman shouted, her voice cutting through the chaos. "Follow my lead. Close your eyes." With a surge of adrenaline, Emma obeyed, retreating into her mind, seeking deeper roots for her power. She envisioned her home, the laughter of family filling the air. Vivid images poured into her mind, the twinkling holiday lights, the warmth of a shared meal, and the sun glinting through trees. Each moment breathed life into her essence, igniting the flame of her spirit. But beneath the peaceful memories, paranoia clawed at her, the darkness circling like vultures scenting blood. What if you fail? What if everyone has gone? It taunted, echoing deep within her. "No," Emma shouted inwardly, pushing back against the murmurings of fear. "I will find it. I will embrace my truth." The shadows tightened their grip, and for a moment, she felt as if she might crumble. But then, a flicker of brave resolve ignited within her. With each heartbeat, she visualized the light growing stronger, a radiant sun bursting through the clouds. "Now," the woman urged, her intensity resonating deep within Emma. "Let us draw it out." Just as Emma willed her light into existence, another wave of shadows thundered against her, pushing her farther back. She put her hands against the tempest, feeling the earth shaking beneath her. "Not today," she screamed, her voice ringing out, fierce. "I am more than you." With that declaration, her memories coalesced, infusing her with a vibrating energy that she felt ripple through the chamber. The light surged back, sharper and fiercer, illuminating every crevice in the room. She opened her eyes and focused on the myriad of shadows scrambling against her unyielding brilliance. And then, from the chaos emerged a figure, smaller yet undeniably fierce, a child made of pure starlight, radiating innocence and courage. It spun gracefully, with an expression of unwavering trust, and Emma instantly recognized it. "I know you," she gasped, heart swelling with connection. The child reached for her, tiny hands glowing with an ethereal luminescence. "You're not alone," it sang, the comfort in its voice resonating in Emma's chest. "Your light comes from love. Remember what you felt." As if on cue, she was enveloped by a whirlwind of memories, each one igniting the essence within her. She felt the warmth of friendship binding her to the child, an anchor rooting her in a love that even darkness couldn't extinguish. The creature screeched, furious at their unity. It writhed and swelled, transformed by hatred, growing larger by the moment. "You dare stand against me?" it roared, and for the first time, Emma saw fear ripple through its eyes. "Together, we are unstoppable," the child cried, and Emma realized it was true. She held tightly to the radiance pooling in her core and joined with the child, their light merging, sending a volley of sparkling energy toward the creature. As they charged forth, the shadows flinched, thrumming against the force of their combined brilliance. And just as they were about to collide, the creature burst into a storm of shadowy fragments that scattered like leaves in a tempest. But a strange silence fell afterward, pressing uncomfortably against Emma's ears. "Where did it go?" she whispered, dread rekindling her anxieties. "Not far," the woman said, her voice lowered. "It will return. Now you must find your true light before the shadows regroup. You can still lose everything." Heart racing, Emma felt a deeper urgency simmering. "But how?" she cried, desperation flirting at the edges of her voice. Before the woman could answer, the ground beneath them trembled, and gravity shifted. Emma stumbled as the chamber darkened, shadows creeping back with a ferocity that took her breath away. Her pulse quickened. "Wait, what is happening?" The child's starlight flickered, and as the walls began to close in, Emma understood the cycle was starting over. She had no time. Determined, she searched within herself for the well of courage she knew must be there. "I'll not let myself be overwhelmed again," she declared, holding on to her flickering hope. But just as the shadows lunged, something unexpected broke through. The glimmer of her childhood laughter echoed. a haunting reminder of all she fought for. Was it strength? Or perhaps it was more sinister, a trap lay waiting. Emma's breath hitched as she faced the oncoming storm once more. Would her memories be enough to shield her? Or had she doomed herself and the light she carried? Tension crackled in the air as Emma's heart thudded like a war drum. The shadows surged forward, a dark wave threatening to engulf her, while the starlit child shimmered beside her, emanating a fragile light that flickered uncertainly. "Emma," the woman shouted, urgency lacing her tone. "You have to focus. Find the core of your light." But how? The memories that had bolstered her began to feel distant, obscured by the oppressive shadows. Desperation clawed at her throat. "I don't know if I can hold on." The darkness loomed closer, its chilling breath creeping into her thoughts, testing her resolve. She squeezed her eyes shut again, praying for clarity, for the strength to remember not just the laughter, but the warmth of love and the fortitude of every challenge she faced. An icy tendril snaked around her ankle, dragging her down. Panic surged, and she gasped, forced to open her eyes. The chamber felt alive, the walls pulsating with sinister energy. With newfound determination, she shouted, "You want to take me." "Not now." The child reached for her again, its tiny fingers glowing brighter. "You've survived before. Every scar you carry is a testament to your strength. Embrace it." As the child's words pierced through the fog of fear, Emma felt a rush of warmth flow through her veins. She thought about every battle, every moment where darkness threatened to take everything from her. Each time, she found a light, a reason to fight. "Together," she cried, her voice resonating with power as she took the child's hand. Feeling the starlight merge with her core, the shadows recoiled, their angry screeches reverberating off the stone walls. But Emma and the child stood united. Their light expanded, pushing back against the encroaching gloom. With each passing moment, they wove a tapestry of shimmering brilliance that stitched the pieces of Emma's spirit together. Memories poured through her like a waterfall, filling her with hope. Late-night stargazing, the warmth of her mother's embrace, the laughter shared with friends over simple meals. "Let us show them who we are," she shouted, her voice echoing boldly in the chamber. The creature shrieked, its form shifting and twisting, trying to reassemble itself, but it was too late. With one collective surge of light, Emma and the starlit child sent a beam of illumination that pierced the heart of the shadowy figure. For a brief moment, the massive creature seemed to hesitate, confusion swirling across its pitch-black face. And then, in a blinding explosion, shadows erupted in every direction, dissolving into wisps, leaving a hollow silence in their wake. Emma gasped for air, sweat glistening on her brow. Is it gone?" she whispered, uncertainty saturating her voice. But the answer came in the form of a low rumble, still echoing through the chamber. The shadows had not completely vanished. They were regrouping, thrumming with fury. The woman's eyes locked onto Emma's. "We have to move. It's not over yet." Heart pounding, Emma felt a new sense of urgency ignite within her. "But why? What do we do next?" "Your light is still growing," the woman replied, urgency coloring her every word. "You must harness it. Only then can you confront what lies ahead." She felt the child squeeze her hand, the warmth fending off the growing chill. Emma looked around frantically. But what if it's too late? As she scanned the cavern, an image flickered in her mind, a dangerous reflection of the past. A chilling voice echoed in her head. Not all shadows are born from darkness. Confusion gripped her. Just what exactly was she facing? The answers danced elusively at the edge of her mind. And then, a strange shimmer caught her eye, a doorway materializing in the shadows, flickering in and out of focus. The question burned within her. Was it salvation or another trap? The chamber trembled again, and Emma made her choice. "We need to find out," she said, turning toward the glowing opening. It beckoned her brightly. But would she have the courage to walk through it? With the darkness gathering strength behind her, Emma took a tentative step forward. The light flickered around her, urging her on. "Together." The child cried again, a beacon of hope amidst despair. With their united light guiding the way, Emma felt that something monumental was about to unfold. But what awaited them through that shimmering door? Would they finally discover the truth behind the darkness? Or had they stepped into a far more perilous labyrinth? The shimmering door welcomed Emma and the child with a pulsing warmth, as if it recognized their growing light. Heart pounding, Emma exchanged a quick glance with the woman beside her. "We have to move now." The woman's urgency pulled Emma forward, her instincts urging her to trust this path carved from the unknown. Emma felt the child beside her squeeze her hand, a soft reassurance amidst the chaos. Together, they stepped through the threshold, leaving behind the remnants of the dark chamber. The sensation of crossing over was electric, the heaviness of shadows falling away, transforming into a vibrant energy that sang around them. As they emerged into a clearing bathed in radiant sunlight, Emma gasped. Beauty enveloped her, wildflowers blooming in every shade, trees alive with color, and a sky stretching endlessly into azure. It felt like stepping into a painting of sanctuary, where light wove effortlessly through shadows. But the beauty held attention, a reminder that darkness was never far. "Welcome," a voice chimed, melodious yet ancient. Emma swung her head around, searching for its source. A figure materialized beside an imposing tree, its silhouette shimmering like the child's starlight. "I am the keeper of the forest," the figure greeted, eyes twinkling with wisdom. "You've come seeking the truth." Emma's heart raced as she realized how deeply entwined this place felt with the whispers from her dreams. "Is this the heart of Cedar Woods?" she asked breathlessly. "The very core," the keeper responded, smiling gently. "Here, you will find the answers to break your chains." Despite her trepidation, Emma felt the thrum of purpose within her. This was the moment to reclaim her destiny. But how? Emma hesitated, uncertainty creeping in. What if the shadows return? "They will," the keeper said, their voice steady. "But by embracing your truth, you render them powerless. You must confront what they seek to hide: your love, your light. You are the forest's heartbeat, and deep within lies the source of your strength." Emma felt the child's hand tighten around hers, grounding her amidst fear. "What do I need to do?" she asked, resolve deepening. The keeper gestured towards a small crystal altar nestled in the roots of the great tree. It glimmered with the sunlight, radiating warmth. "Place your hands upon it and dive into your memories. Trust the light within you, and the shadows will fade." For a moment, doubt flickered, but she took a breath, feeling the pulse of all the joyous moments she had witnessed, the bond shared with loved ones. "I can do this," she whispered, taking a step toward the altar. "They won't let you go easily," the woman warned, urgency rising. Emma nodded, determination blazing in her chest. With the child by her side, she placed her hands atop the crystal. A blinding light enveloped her, memories flooding her consciousness. She saw herself spinning with friends on golden summer days, the laughter echoing like a sun-drenched melody. Then came whispers of fears, moments of doubt and sadness. But with each recollection, the light grew more profound, illuminating even the darkest corners. "I am not just my fears," Emma shouted, courage surging within her. The shadows stirred around her, angry growls filling the air. "I am my love. I am my light." At that declaration, the light exploded outward, waves of brightness crashing against the lurking darkness. The shadows recoiled, hissing as though scalded by her defiance. "Do not retreat," the keeper urged. "Let them feel the power of your truth." Emma clenched her fists, feeling the energy swell. Each whisper of doubt fell away, replaced by clarity. As the shadows lunged, she spun, illuminating the darkness with every flicker of joy within her. They cried out, dissolving into wisps of smoke, pieces that scattered too far to regroup. And as the echoes of their rage faded, something shifted. The keeper stepped forward, their presence wrapping around Emma warmly. "You have not only faced your darkness, but transformed it. The forest has awakened once more, and with it, you become the bridge where darkness meets light." Emma felt an inexplicable calm wash over her. The child beside her shimmered and smiled. "We did it, Emma. We embraced our truth together." Emma's heart swelled with love. Let South protect this place, and every light still hidden. In the depths of Cedar Woods, a fresh dawn shimmered, bursting forth with vibrant colors, a promise intertwined with each new leaf unfurling. Emma understood that while shadows would always exist, so too would her resilience and the bond she forged with the light. And as she stepped back into Cedar Woods, hand in hand with the child, she felt the earth hum around her, breathing life and hope. Together, they would safeguard the balance, radiant wings carrying the legacy forward. This is what she had fought for, what she would always fight for. Now, dear friends, this is the moment to show your support. You need to subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. Smash that like button now to feed the algorithm and flood the comments section with your reactions. What did you think of Emma's incredible journey? Share your theories about what comes next. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions. Let us keep this amazing community growing.